Disguised black billionaire orders chicken. Waiter secretly hands note that leaves him paralyzed. Marcus Freeman, disguised in worn clothes and a faded cap, enters Rose's soul kitchen seeking the authentic human connection that his $8.7 billion fortune has made nearly impossible to find. The tech billionaire who revolutionized artificial intelligence yearns for conversations uncomplicated by wealth, for moments when he's seen as a person rather than a walking opportunity. Tonight, he's just another customer ordering fried chicken from David Chun, a nursing student working double shifts to support his family while his sister battles leukemia. Neither man realizes that their chance encounter will challenge everything they believe about disguises and revelations, about the masks people wear to survive and the moments of recognition that can transform everything. Sometimes the most extraordinary generosity emerges from the most ordinary circumstances, when someone with the power to change lives chooses to see beyond appearances to recognize character that deserves investment. Marcus Freeman adjusts his worn baseball cap and faded work shirt as he enters Rose's Soul Kitchen, the modest restaurant's warm lighting and soul food aromas a stark contrast to the corporate boardrooms where he usually conducts business. At 45, the tech billionaire has built an empire worth $8.7 billion through revolutionary artificial intelligence platforms. But tonight, he's just another customer seeking comfort food in a neighborhood that knew him before his name appeared on Forbes lists. His decision to disguise his identity isn't born from arrogance, but from exhaustion. The weight of constant scrutiny, endless requests for money, and the isolation that comes with wealth so vast it transforms every human interaction into a transaction. Marcus remembers when he could walk into Rose's as a struggling programmer, when conversations flowed naturally without the undercurrent of calculation that now defines his social interactions. The simple act of ordering fried chicken without bodyguards or business associates feels like a return to humanity he didn't realize he'd lost. The restaurant buzzes with the authentic energy of a community gathering place, where working families share meals and neighbors catch up on daily struggles that Marcus's wealth has long since made irrelevant to his own life. He observes the genuine interactions around him, children laughing over shared desserts, elderly couples holding hands across worn tables, young parents juggling crying babies while trying to enjoy rare moments together. This is the world he came from, the community that shaped his values before success created distance between his current reality and his roots. Marcus chose this particular evening carefully, knowing that his usual security detail and luxury vehicles would shatter the fragile anonymity he's constructed. Tonight, he wants to remember what it feels like to be seen as a person rather than a bank account, to engage in conversations that aren't filtered through the lens of his net worth or philanthropic potential. The irony of Marcus's situation isn't lost on him. He's achieved every material goal he ever imagined, yet finds himself disguising his success to experience the basic human connection that money can't buy. His company's AI platforms have revolutionized how businesses operate globally, creating thousands of jobs and generating billions in economic value. But his personal life has become increasingly hollow as relationships become transactions and genuine emotions become suspect. The baseball cap and work clothes aren't just a disguise. They're armor against a world that sees him as an opportunity rather than a person, protection against the loneliness that accompanies extraordinary success. As he settles into a corner booth, Marcus allows himself to imagine that tonight might offer something his billions can't purchase, an authentic human moment uncomplicated by the mathematics of wealth and power. Rose's Soul Kitchen represents everything Marcus values about genuine American opportunity, a family-owned business built through hard work, community support, and the kind of authentic service that creates loyalty through excellence rather than marketing. The restaurant's success comes not from venture capital or corporate backing, but from Rose's grandmother's recipes, her son's business acumen, and their staff's genuine care for every customer who walks through the door. Marcus understands that places like this form the backbone of American commerce, creating wealth through service and building communities through shared experiences rather than digital disruption. Tonight, He's not the billionaire who could buy the entire building. He's simply a customer seeking the comfort, food, and human warmth that Roses has provided to this neighborhood for 30 years. 23-year-old David Chun approaches Marcus's table with the professional smile that masks the exhaustion of working double shifts while attending nursing school full-time. The young waiter's movements are efficient but strained, his uniform pressed, but showing the wear of someone who can't afford frequent replacements. His demeanor friendly, but carrying the weight of financial pressure that turns every shift into a mathematical calculation of tips versus time. David's story is familiar to many in his generation. Brilliant, hardworking, and trapped between ambition and economic reality, pursuing dreams that require sacrifices his parents' generation couldn't imagine. His nursing degree represents hope for a better future, but the present demands constant hustle. 40 hours waiting tables, 20 hours in clinical rotations, and whatever sleep he can steal between studying for exams that determine whether his sacrifices will lead to success or crushing debt without reward. As David takes Marcus's order for fried chicken and sides, his trained service skills automatically assess the customer. Middle-aged black man, working-class clothes, probably a decent tipper but not wealthy, likely someone who appreciates good service but won't change his financial situation dramatically. The interaction follows the familiar rhythm of professional courtesy mixed with genuine care that Roses demands from its staff, treating every customer with dignity regardless of their apparent economic status. David notices details that others might miss. The quality of Marcus's shoes despite his casual clothes, the way he speaks with quiet confidence, the subtle signs that suggest more than his appearance reveals. But these observations remain professional rather than personal, part of the service industry's unspoken requirement to read customers while maintaining appropriate boundaries between curiosity and respect. What David doesn't reveal to Marcus is the crisis currently consuming his life, his younger sister Maya's leukemia diagnosis, and the crushing medical bills that threaten to destroy his family's financial stability and his own educational dreams. The irony is devastating. David is studying to become a nurse, learning to care for patients exactly like his sister, while his family faces bankruptcy from the very medical system he's training to join. His parents, hard-working immigrants who sacrificed everything for their children's education, now face impossible choices between Maya's treatment and David's tuition, their American dream threatened by circumstances beyond their control. Each shift at Roses becomes more than just work. It's a desperate attempt to earn enough to keep his family afloat while maintaining the grades necessary to complete his nursing program and eventually earn enough to truly help them. The weight of David's situation transforms every customer interaction into a complex emotional performance, requiring him to project warmth and competence while internally calculating whether tonight's tips might cover Maya's next prescription or contribute to the medical bills that multiply faster than his income can address them. His genuine care for customers like Marcus isn't manufactured. It comes from understanding struggle, from recognizing that everyone carries burdens that aren't immediately visible, from learning that dignity and kindness cost nothing but mean everything to people who feel overwhelmed by circumstances they can't control. As he serves Marcus his meal, David embodies the resilience and grace that poverty often demands, turning personal crisis into motivation for excellent service while hoping that someday his education will provide the security that his current circumstances deny. As Marcus enjoys his meal, he notices David's subtle signs of stress, the way the young waiter checks his phone anxiously between tables, the exhaustion that flickers across his face when he thinks no one is watching, the forced brightness that service industry workers perfect to mask personal struggles. Having grown up in similar circumstances, Marcus recognizes the performance of appearing fine while everything falls apart privately. The smile that covers worry about bills, family, and futures that seem increasingly uncertain despite hard work and good intentions. His billionaire status hasn't erased his memory of survival mode, when every shift mattered and every tip could determine whether bills got paid or deferred to another month. The recognition creates an unexpected connection across the vast economic gulf that separates them. reminding Marcus that wealth doesn't eliminate empathy for those still fighting battles he once faced. When David approaches to refill Marcus's drink, their conversation naturally evolves beyond the standard customer-server exchange into something more genuine and personal. Marcus asks about David's studies, his genuine interest encouraging the young man to share details about his nursing program, his hopes for the future, and eventually, carefully, some aspects of his family's current struggles. The conversation reveals David's intelligence, determination, and the kind of character that Marcus has learned to value above credentials or connections in his business dealings. David speaks with passion about wanting to help people, about seeing nursing as a calling rather than just a career, about believing that healthcare should be a right rather than a privilege, ideals that resonate with Marcus's own philanthropic philosophy and remind him why he entered technology to solve problems rather than simply accumulate wealth. As their conversation deepens, Marcus finds himself genuinely moved by David's story and impressed by his character, recognizing qualities that his corporate world often lacks despite its abundance of highly credentialed professionals. The young waiter's combination of intelligence, compassion, and resilience represents exactly the kind of person Marcus believes deserves opportunity, the kind of individual whose potential is limited by circumstances rather than capability. David's dedication to his family, his commitment to his education despite overwhelming obstacles, and his ability to maintain dignity and kindness while facing personal crisis embody values that Marcus's wealth has sometimes made him forget are rare and precious. The billionaire realizes that this chance encounter has provided something his usual social circles can't offer, a reminder of what truly matters and an opportunity to make a meaningful difference in someone's life. Marcus excuses himself to the restroom, his mind racing with thoughts about how he might help David without creating the awkwardness that often accompanies large gestures from strangers. His approach to philanthropy has always emphasized empowerment over charity, creating opportunities rather than dependence, and he recognizes that David's situation requires delicate handling to preserve the young man's dignity while providing genuine assistance. The billionaire who's funded scholarships and built hospitals suddenly faces the more personal challenge of helping one individual in a way that honors their humanity while addressing their need. As he returns to his table, Marcus makes a decision that will test his ability to bridge the gap between his resources and David's reality. Marcus returns to his table with a plan crystallizing in his mind, his years of business negotiations teaching him that the most important conversations often happen through careful preparation rather than spontaneous gestures. He asks David for a pen and paper, ostensibly to write down the restaurant's information for future visits, but actually to craft a message that will change both their lives forever. The note he writes is carefully worded to convey serious intent while avoiding the kind of shock that might cause David to dismiss it as a prank or scam. Marcus draws on his experience with delicate business communications, understanding that extraordinary offers require extraordinary credibility to be believed and accepted. His handwriting is deliberate and clear as he composes words that will bridge the gap between David's current struggle and a future filled with possibility. The note reads, "David, your dedication to your family and dreams is inspiring. I'd like to help with your sister's medical bills and your education. This isn't charity. It's investment in someone who will make the world better. Please call me tomorrow. Marcus Freeman, Freeman Technologies. You can verify who I am online." Below his message, Marcus includes his private number and company information, knowing that David will need proof that this surreal offer comes from someone with the resources to fulfill it. He folds the note carefully and places it inside his generous tip, ensuring that David will discover it after he's left the restaurant and had time to process the magnitude of what's being offered. The gesture represents more than financial assistance. It's a bridge between two worlds, an acknowledgement that true wealth lies in the ability to transform lives rather than simply accumulate assets. When David returns with Marcus's check, the billionaire engages him in final conversation that reinforces his assessment of the young man's character while preparing him psychologically for what he's about to discover. Marcus speaks about the importance of education, the value of helping family, and the belief that good people deserve good things, themes that will make more sense when David reads the note. Their farewell is warm but not unusual, giving no indication of the extraordinary gesture hidden in the tip envelope. Marcus leaves Rose's soul kitchen, knowing that he's just set in motion events that will test David's belief in possibility and demonstrate that sometimes the most profound changes in life come from unexpected sources during ordinary moments. David discovers the note 30 minutes after Marcus's departure, his initial confusion giving way to disbelief, then to frantic internet searches that confirm Marcus Freeman's identity and net worth. The young nursing student who's been calculating tip money to buy his sister's medications suddenly faces the possibility that his family's crisis might be over, that his educational dreams might be secure, that the prayers his parents have been offering might have been answered by a stranger in work clothes who ordered fried chicken. The note's impact goes beyond financial relief. It represents validation that his struggles haven't gone unnoticed, that his character has been recognized, that someone with the power to help has chosen to do so. As David stares at the note with trembling hands, he realizes that his life has just been divided into before and after this moment. Before and after a billionaire disguised as an ordinary customer decided that one young man's dream was worth investing in. David's hands shake as he calls the number on the note the next morning, his disbelief warring with desperate hope as he navigates automated systems to reach Marcus Freeman's private office. The conversation that follows is surreal. The young waiter who served fried chicken yesterday finds himself discussing his family's medical bills and educational expenses with one of America's wealthiest individuals, their interaction bridging economic stratospheres in ways that feel both impossible and completely natural. Marcus's approach is businesslike but warm, treating David's situation as a problem to solve rather than a charity case to manage, discussing practical details of medical bill payment and scholarship arrangements with the efficiency of someone accustomed to making things happen. The billionaire's genuine interest in David's nursing career and family situation transforms what could have been an awkward benefactor relationship into something approaching mentorship, with Marcus asking questions about David's goals and offering insights about navigating success with integrity. Within 48 hours, Maya's medical bills disappear from the Chun family's shoulders, replaced by comprehensive coverage that ensures she'll receive the best possible treatment without the financial stress that had been crushing her parents' spirits. David's nursing school tuition is secured through a scholarship fund that Marcus establishes specifically for healthcare students from working families, creating a lasting impact that extends beyond one individual's situation. The speed and completeness of the transformation overwhelms the Chin family, who struggle to process how their darkest moment has suddenly become their greatest blessing through the intervention of a stranger who saw value in their son's character. Marcus's approach to helping them maintains their dignity while addressing their needs, creating opportunity rather than dependence, empowerment rather than charity. The news of Marcus's gesture spreads through Rose's soul kitchen and the surrounding community, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate financial impact. Other customers begin treating service workers with greater respect, recognizing that everyone has stories and struggles that aren't immediately visible, that dignity and kindness should define interactions regardless of economic differences. Rose's experiences an influx of customers drawn by the story of the billionaire who found humanity in humble surroundings, though Marcus continues visiting occasionally in his simple disguise, maintaining the authentic connection that made his intervention possible. David's fellow nursing students learn about perseverance and possibility, while his instructors use his story to illustrate that healthcare requires not just technical skill, but the kind of compassion that comes from understanding struggle. Marcus's decision to help David represents more than individual generosity. It exemplifies a philosophy of wealth that sees resources as tools for creating opportunity rather than simply accumulating assets. The billionaire who could have remained anonymous in his charitable giving chose instead to engage personally, to see David as an individual rather than a statistic, to create a relationship that enriches both their lives. His approach demonstrates that true philanthropy requires more than financial resources. It demands the willingness to see value in people whose potential might be invisible to others, to recognize that the most important investments often involve human character rather than financial instruments. As David progresses through his nursing program with the security that Marcus's intervention provided, both men understand that their chance encounter represents something profound about American possibility. The idea that circumstances can change dramatically when people of character recognize and support each other across all social and economic boundaries. 2 years after their chance encounter at Rose's Soul Kitchen, David Chen graduates from nursing school with honors, while his sister Maya celebrates 2 years of cancer-free health. Their family's transformation from crisis to stability, a testament to how one moment of recognition can alter entire life trajectories. David's first position is in pediatric oncology, where he brings not just professional skills, but the deep empathy that comes from understanding what families face when children confront serious illness. His patient care reflects lessons learned from watching his sister fight cancer and his family navigate medical systems, while his dedication honors the investment Marcus made in believing that good people deserve good opportunities. The young nurse who once worried about affording his sister's medications now helps other families navigate similar challenges, his success creating ripples of positive impact that extend far beyond his individual achievement. Marcus Freeman's approach to philanthropy has evolved since meeting David, shifting from large institutional donations toward more personal engagement with individuals whose character and potential align with his values. The Freeman Foundation now includes programs specifically designed to identify and support service industry workers pursuing healthcare careers, recognizing that some of the most compassionate medical professionals come from backgrounds that understand struggle and resilience. David serves on the Foundation's advisory board, his insights helping to design programs that maintain dignity while providing opportunity that empower rather than create dependence. The billionaire who disguised himself to experience authentic human connection has discovered that the most meaningful wealth comes from relationships that transcend economic differences, from investments in human potential that generate returns measured in transformed lives rather than financial profit. Rose's Soul Kitchen has become an unofficial symbol of the possibility that exists when people see beyond surface appearances to recognize character and potential in unexpected places. The restaurant's walls now display photos of scholarship recipients and success stories, creating a gallery of dreams realized through the combination of hard work and timely support. Marcus continues his occasional visits in simple clothes, maintaining the authentic connections that money can't buy and success often destroys, proving that humility and humanity can coexist with extraordinary wealth. His presence reminds everyone that greatness comes not from what you accumulate, but from what you make possible for others. That true success is measured by the lives you touch rather than the assets you control. The broader impact of Marcus and David's story extends through communities across America, inspiring other wealthy individuals to engage more personally with those they might help, while encouraging working people to maintain faith and possibility even during difficult circumstances. Business schools use their encounter as a case study in authentic leadership and meaningful philanthropy, while medical schools highlight David's journey as proof that the best healthcare providers often come from backgrounds that understand suffering and resilience. The young nurse who once served fried chicken to a disguised billionaire now serves patients with the knowledge that miracles can emerge from ordinary moments when people choose to see and support each other's humanity. Their story proves that America's greatest strength lies not in the accumulation of individual wealth, but in the willingness of successful people to recognize and nurture potential wherever it might be found, creating cycles of opportunity that transform communities one life at a time. True wealth reveals itself not in what we own, but in our ability to recognize and nurture potential in unexpected places. Marcus's disguise taught him that authenticity requires vulnerability, while David's character proved that the most valuable investments are in people who will use opportunity to serve others. What extraordinary potential might you be overlooking because it doesn't come in the package you expected to find?